Hi guys, not so long ago I made a video that it was called A Message to the Brits or something like that. And there I said, I believe you, I trust you, and I see what you're fighting because we're kind of familiar with it here, but I want to do more. And I thought, you know what? I have one thing you guys don't, and that is the freedom of speech. Of course, I don't know if I should wait for maybe somebody like Elon Musk to go deeper into what he means, where he thinks if Britain will continue going in the direction it's going, then it's going to end up in a civil war. I've decided to, instead of waiting for maybe more famous people to try to elaborate on that subject, I can do it myself. You see, I've been listening to this interview between some reporter and Constantins, who is an immigrant, actually, I think from Russia, that is in the UK, and he has this podcast called Trigonometry. And then that reporter chose to question him about Elon Musk's comments, which is, I've been listening. At some point, Constantine was like, I don't know him personally. And I was like, wait, so why are you having this interview? Okay, confusion aside. He started asking him very weird questions about why does Elon Musk say that there must be a civil war, which is a little bit different than what he actually said, that, if you continue walking in the same direction, it would lead to a civil war. Whatever, let's not, get nitpicky. Wording, is the same. It's not the same, but it's the same. And he started asking him several questions. When he said that he doesn't really know Elon Musk personally, I thought that, Constantine, are you not from Russia? Do you not understand that this person tried to frame you for the government to come and arrest you? Because clearly you guys don't have free speech anymore. So if you had cooperated with him in some manner, you might have gotten arrested. I don't think he came to ask you about Elon Musk. I think he came so that he would have a case to present to the government for them to come after you. Because I guess you've been blabbering too much truths lately. I think Leo Corse technically speaks very directly compared to other Brits, because you guys you use so many euphemisms to try not to get sentenced to jail. I mean, I'm not joking here for those who are not British. Like, the cases are insane. Like, if you share a meme, you might get jailed. If you're an Asian man who fancies his niece, though, I mean, it's your brother's property, so obviously without her consent, you fancy her, so obviously you do what you do. You might get off the hook. But if you have certain skin color, certain family history, and you share a meme, maybe it's not that safe for you. So let me go through the several questions that he asked Constantin Kissin, and I want to answer them because I think it might be relevant. You see, I'm not going to answer them in a way that would, I don't know, because I'm not telling you how to fight your fight. And I'm not telling you that you have to fight. It's 100% your choice, okay? I just want to answer those questions because I can answer them, because believe it or not, it's not the first time that you have the same situation happening. Not the first time, right? Let me describe the situation, okay? You have the British government who is supporting the Islamists, and you have the people who are trying to resist the British government against the Islamists while fighting the Islamists at the same time. You have the British government, the Labour Party, which when it was elected, I straight away treated the RIP Britain. I'm sorry. Okay. And then you have, let's say, two groups, right? Obviously the Sikhs and the Jews, and somehow the fair-skinned Brits, let me say it like that, seem to be in the same group. I wonder what unifies them against the other group. Wait, let me think about the other group because I think it's easier there. The other group is Muslims mostly, communists, Muslims, something like that. So I guess it's an ideological kind of fight, you know? All right, so let me tell you, it's not the first time that it's happening that you have a population that is split between Muslims, Islamists, and the others. By the way, it's not always that the Muslims cooperate with the other Muslims. Sometimes they choose to be with the other population. Therefore, you have one population that is pretty homogeneous with a bit of extras of extreme leftists or people who have strong delusions. I'm not going to get into it. And you have the other population that is surprisingly diverse, right? So you have those two groups. And then on top of that, you have the British government that is for some reason supporting the Islamists. But I think it's time for us to learn from history. And this time, it's not going to end in a population swap and then splitting your land, your ancestral land, into two countries, which are not even two countries because the country that is not your country, I mean, not the one that hosts the actual ancestral people, but those who the Muslims get, also has to split into two territories because obviously they cannot get along with each other. And ever since you get terrorist attacks from them, and you have 20% of your population also Muslim for some reason, because the population swap is always not perfect thus far, because one side is way nicer than the other and a lot less systematic about it. Anyway, I mean, actually, no, they still had some of the ancestral and kind of ideologic people staying in that former territories. I'm talking about India, of course, because if we're talking about Israel, obviously, then that would be not two countries, but 3, 4, because you have it happening twice. First, you get Jordan, and then you get the Palestinian territories, which are Gaza and Pakistan. So at least India got it once, right, with Pakistan and Bangladesh, and you have the British government siding with the Islamists in both cases. With Israel, it was once in the 20s, where they took Jordan away from Israel, and then they decided to split it further. But then the population swap had to be complete because, I mean, it's not like the Hindus weren't genocided. They were genocided as well. But I guess it's harder because the numbers are so much bigger and the territory is so much bigger, so it wasn't complete back then. While with the Jews, they kind of managed to completely genocide / expel anyone that were left. Anyway, population swap and basically the native people losing their actual chunks of their ancestral land. I don't think you should get to that, Brayden. I really don't. So I'm gonna go through the questions that Kisin was asked I think, in the goal of being able to frame him for the British government. Okay, so here are the questions that I only chose. I picked a few of them. Okay, first question is not a question, it's a statement. Elon says that there will be a civil war. I think I covered that already. We can go next. Okay. Second thing that I wrote to myself, are you already in a civil war? I think, that's a good question. Probably not. I think it's brewing, but it's not there. Because if the British government would learn from best, third time ice cream, maybe on the third time you'd learn to not side with the Islamists, because that's not the moral thing to do. And this time you actually don't have anywhere to run away to. Or you do. To Argentina? I don't know where you. Maybe they do have somewhere to run away to. Anyway, don't do it a third time. It's weird. Come on. This time, maybe side with the other side. You don't have to side with the Islamists every fucking time. I know it suits you, but still, like, change phase a little bit. Okay, so guys, ideally, you would somehow manage to make your government, your British government, stop supporting the Islamists this time. Tell them, hey, listen, you did it once, you did it twice, and we can see the result of your support of Muslims. People lost chunks of their ancestral home, and those chunks that had been lost are a constant source of terrorist attacks. Not fun, not good. Maybe that would convince them. Try it. All right. How would the war would look like? I suggest, you see, it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy. You guys are going to probably be under arms embargo from everywhere around the world. So you would have to do like private initiatives to get arms. Oh, actually, I mean, I'm sorry. I'm saying it like that. I should actually, like, I can say what was happening in the past. That way you can draw your own conclusions. Like, what I'm saying is how it looked like in the past. At least here, I'm more familiar with the Middle East area than the Indian subcontinent area. So how would it look like? So surprisingly enough, for us, it was like, you have the Sikhs, we had the Bedouins and the Druze and some Christian populations that decided to join our side. So it was kind of diverse. You have an advantage, like kind of like the Hindus who are a majority. We were not a majority. We were a majority at some point, but after many genocides, we weren't a majority anywhere anymore. Don't get to that point. When you lose, you start getting genocided and then you fight. It's way harder. Don't do it. Like, learn from history. So how would it look? So when it came to Israel, there were terrorist attacks that were happening against the Brits. It was a very unpopular and pretty criticized kind of tactic. One famous terrorist attack was in the King David Hotel. Actually, the Jewish terrorists called the hotel and told them, hey, we're going to bomb it, so you should evacuate. And they just left it off. They said, like, you Jews, we don't believe you can do anything. You're just, weak after the Holocaust and stuff, thin. Can barely lift a pencil. No way. Apparently, you don't need to be able to lift a pencil to make a bomb and plant it. I mean, a pencil. You have to lift a pencil because you have to plant sketch. I guess with writing it's easier, but you don't have to be too strong for it anyway. I don't know how much. I think it made it like for the government, it made it being like they started feeling that they're getting the fire of it. Like they started feeling way too warm. So they just didn't want to be a part of it anymore. They just wanted to pack their things and go home. If it stops there for you and they go home, then you can have like maybe, I don't know, democratic elections or something. Saying again, not the same situation. So the other question, who's going to fight the government? Is it going to be the immigrants? Well, the government. All right. So those who fought the government were both sides, because one side is, even if the government is siding with that side, they just love, for some reason, they really like terror. So they do it anyway. And the other side did it because they felt super frustrated for the continuous endorsement of the side of the Islamists. Yeah, I guess that the government is gonna get it from both sides. Yeah. What do you think the Brits should do? See, this is the one that is like, if he answered that, is like jail, card to jail. What do you think you should do? I mean, you have your choice, right? So ideally, you'd do you just like, go to serve in the police and make sure that you get jobs in the court and do media and things like that, and then you get your justice system back and you make sure that it doesn't matter what color of skin a person has, waving a machata and a meme, that situationship where a machata waving by a certain population gets you nothing, but a meme gets you months in jail, where you might go one way because there are Asian gangs waiting for you there, so you might not come out. I think like it should go back to memes are okay and no jail time for memes, and maybe arrests and removal of threat in case of machata waving. Well, if you can do that by, the traditional ways, like getting your police forces intact and things like that, because right now the police force is behaving exactly the same way it kind of behaved when it was a mandate, right? When it was a mandate and you have two groups and the police is like, we don't belong here. We're neither there or here. Weird. Yeah, I don't know why the British government is like that. So I think the Brits should learn history, and that would make them able to make decisions. So that's my suggestion for the Brits. Is the civil war imminent? That is your choice to make with the actions that you're gonna take. Same with the government. It's their choice as well. I hope I help you guys. Yeah. Like, comment, subscribe. I have a Buy Me Coffee link below if you guys want to support me, as well as Patreon and PayPal. And I don't know, you can just send me a big heart emoji, maybe with a super chat attached to it if you guys want to. It really helps me, speak up. Especially when sometimes I don't get monetized. I have to fight with YouTube. Yeah. Yeah. And share. See you later.